Hello, crypto YouTube, crypto family. This is Crypto Farang, pre-recorded from Thailand. Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't had a chance to do so, please like and subscribe to the channel and hop on over to Twitter. Follow me at Crypto Farang. And as always, I am not a cryptocurrency expert, a blockchain specialist, or a financial advisor. I'm just another digital asset maniac making YouTube content. Welcome back to the channel, and I want to say thank you for my latest subscriber. That's right, we're at 17 subscribers now. The channel is growing exponentially, and you know what that tells me? I'm not the only one that's fired up to be a digital asset investor, a cryptocurrency enthusiast. I'm fired up about this thing, and I'm excited to be making regular content. So, as mentioned, thanks again for joining me. If you had a chance to catch yesterday's video, it was just a quick market update and took a moment to just reflect on the possibility of Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high in the coming months with the halvening around the corner. And today's video kind of piggybacks on a video that I made a week ago about this potentially impending encryption ban bill that could get pushed through Congress in the U.S. This is another FUD video because we've gotten a little bit of FUD news in the last couple days, and I just want to cover that. First, let's take a look at the market, and at 1 p.m. on Friday here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, the market technically in the red, but by a small margin after the last 10 days or so, we're still looking strong. Bitcoin trading sideways, still over $10,000. XRP dipped back below 32 cents, and VET still looking great. So let's hop on over here to Crypto Slate, and I'm going to try to remember to include the links in the description, and I'm not going to read the articles, I'm just going to touch on them briefly. And this one is titled, "The DOJ Just Busted a Massive Money Laundering Scheme, and It's Bad for Bitcoin." Scroll down here, the DOJ conducts major Bitcoin money laundering takedown. Okay, so basically this Ohio-based man laundered $300 million by utilizing Bitcoin through a process called tumbling, and this essentially mixes the transaction data so that it can help anonymize or autonomize your activity online, on the dark web, using cryptocurrencies. And so if you've been in the space at all and have been paying attention to the news, I think for nearly as long as Bitcoin's been a thing, the narrative has been that, oh, Bitcoin is used by criminals, it's used for money laundering. And I think we all know that cash isn't used for criminals, right? Yeah, bum. And the next article on Cointelegraph, U.S. Treasury Secretary promises significant new requirements on cryptocurrency. So scroll down, and Mnuchin, not a big fan of this guy, but anyone that's in high positions in government, traditional finance, central banking, the Fed, this kind of stuff, the conspiracy theorist in me, I'm barred against having a positive attitude towards a lot of these people. So I'm immediately suspect when information is coming down from these people. And so he was asked, are we going to increase monitoring suspicious cryptocurrency transactions? And he responded, we're about to roll out some significant new requirements. And everyone's been freaking out in the space. There's been a lot of articles on different news sites, and different cryptocurrency YouTube channels have also been covering this at length. And so the point for me to just weigh in on my attitude and my thoughts about this recent news is just a couple points, really. As I mentioned, the narrative has largely been that cryptocurrency is this evil thing that's used for criminals and money launderers, and the narrative has been as such for several years now. and it continues to be that way. And I do agree on some level that this narrative has been a bar against the average Joe retail investor wanting to interact with digital assets and invest. But I also believe that if there was any widespread, potentially crippling legislation and regulations to come down on the cryptocurrency space, and specifically Bitcoin, I believe it would have happened already. These new regulations may be more restrictive, may be more invasive. They might be technologically somewhat creative. Who knows what they've been working on behind the scenes? But I am still unswayed in my bullishness mid to long term on the cryptocurrency space. I think that it has taken on a life of its own and it cannot be stopped. And I think these people know that. And so to see regulation that's going to cripple the space as it exists today, I do not believe that's going to happen. I believe that there are too many big players that are already fully invested in cryptocurrency and specifically Bitcoin. And so that's why I'm so bullish. And then my second point is that you have a company like Ripple, you have a digital asset like XRP. Ripple is actively working with regulators for adoption. And so on a few different points here, you've got the big players, they're already invested. When you talk about backed, owned by the New York Stock Exchange, they are so heavily invested in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin at this point. I just can't imagine that tomorrow they're going to try to shut it all down. I just think they're going to make it more restrictive and more invasive to interact with digital assets, which that has always been in the back of my mind, and that would not surprise me at all. The other thing, Bitcoin is decentralized, and so for that very reason, it cannot be stopped. Now, I've mentioned before that, of course, there is the possibility, a very, I think a very small possibility that, let's say, China doing more than 50% of the mining, they could come in and implement a 51% attack against the network. I think this is highly unlikely. And then the third point is you've got Ripple actively working with regulators. I sincerely believe that Ripple and XRP is here to stay and that it will be implemented with mainstream usability. So I am not the least bit influenced by this news. I am still permanently bullish. And as I mentioned, I think it was yesterday's video, I'm holding on to these digital assets, good, bad, or indifferent. Whether we go to the moon or we go to the garbage can. And I will use this platform as the opportunity to express my excitement and my gratitude if this thing all goes according to plan. And I will also concede to my misfortune and failure if this thing all implodes tomorrow. So that's my attitude. I'm sticking to it. And I just want to quickly mention, yesterday was a great example. We had a quick pullback and minor retracement, and then the subsequent pump back up to stabilize yesterday. And so over the last couple weeks, we have seen on these pullbacks, Bitcoin begin to lose its dominance in the market for total market cap. And when you look at Bitcoin, it didn't quite pump back up to where it was, but XRP held strong and held solid. I think that's a good sign. I've mentioned before, I'm not a technicals guy, but to see XRP specifically, VET specifically, increasing price, increasing market cap, increasing dominance, could alt season be upon us? Well, we shall see. So, as always, thank you so much for joining me today on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. And as a reminder, please treat others the way that you'd like to be treated. And remember, Crypto hindsight is always 20/20. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.